We should understand the principles of grounding and its relationship and interaction with the Merkaba field. We're going to use this character below to illustrate this. Here we have a Merkaba field, which is the energy generator of the soul body. And the purpose of this course has been to illustrate how the structure can create the energy in the soul body. Well, Nikola Tesla understood this when he created the coil, because what you have is a coil. Energy, as it moves around, an electromagnetic field, moves the energy into this pyramid. And in fact, the pyramids were used to create energy. But when you have an inverted pyramid, as we have here, you have one pyramid which is electric and one which is magnetic. So these counter-rotating pyramids create energy to coil up in opposite directions, and what this does, it traps in its center a toroidal field. And in fact there are two more toroidal fields. If the one toroidal field is magnetic, then the toroidal fields on either side will be electric. And for male energy, it's electric energy and spins clockwise. And the bottom pyramid spins anti-clockwise. So the one pyramid, depending on which way it spins, is creating a toroidal field in the center and two oppositely charged toroidal fields on either side. I'll explain this a bit more later. And this pyramid is a three-sided pyramid, but I recommend that you use a four-sided pyramid, because remember we said the base is strong force and the pinnacle is the weak force. So weak, strong, weak, strong. And if this strong force base has four sides, it creates a larger amount of torque, and therefore it increases the power of this energy in the center toroidal field. Now we talked about grounding, and essentially what happens when you ground it on earth, that is barefoot on the earth, your left foot is pushing electric energy into the earth's field, and your right foot is drawing up magnetic energy, setting up a flow of energy that goes throughout the entire body. Remember that our bodies are not just made up of chemicals. Those chemicals are just there as a manifestation of the energy that's running in our bodies. Our bodies are in fact electrical. So it's, in a sense, we are like batteries. Okay? And here we have an illustration of the male electric energy when it's spinning. When the pyramid is spun, the energy coils up from the pyramid and goes up into the ether. Conversely, the magnetic energy coils downward and grounds one into the earth. Okay, and this will be explained in more detail later on. And this toroidal field is electric, which spins clockwise, and there's a magnetic one spinning anti-clockwise. And here's an illustration of what this toroidal field looks like. We have these magnetic and electric energies spinning around, counter-spinning in opposite directions around a central core. And in this core you have something called the 0-point energy. And this 0-point energy connects into our bodies, into a part of our bodies called the azure, which is where the thymus gland is connected. Behind the thymus gland there is a crystal, and that crystal connects us with the universal energy fields, but it's our 0 point. Okay, I just thought I'd illustrate that now, but we'll learn more about that later. In this diagram we see how the Earth's Merkaba field creates these 6 counter-rotating energy systems on the Earth that manage the weather on this planet. And though weather's always described as low pressure and high pressure systems, in actual fact they are energy fields, which are electric energy which spins clockwise and magnetic energy which spins counterclockwise. So the Earth systems, as we spoke about in the weather systems in an earlier video, shows clearly that these 6 centers are similar to our chakra centers in that they move the energy, they transmit the energy through the Earth's energy fields, and this creates our weather systems. Now I want to illustrate men spin clockwise, their top spin, and their bottom spin is anti-clockwise. Okay, so their top pyramid is an electrical field and the bottom pyramid is a magnetic field. And for females it's the opposite. The spin is anti-clockwise, which is a magnetic field on top, and clockwise for the electrical field at the bottom. So there we have what this might look, but it doesn't look like this. In actual fact, the Merkaba field can be actually as much as 100 meters to even a kilometer high, depending on how much energy one is generating in one's soul body. So it's not one size fits all. When the Merkaba is generating natural organic life force energy, the soul body and the physical body develop a symbiotic relationship, where the one must be in coherence or in harmony with the other. This coherence is driven and determined by the physical body being connected to and grounded in the Earth's Merkaba field. That's where the grounding comes in. The Earth has a base pulse rhythm, or BPR, called the Schumann resonance. The BPR, base pulse rhythm, determines the rate of transfer of energy from the Earth to the soul body, to the physical body, and back again. The BPR is what regulates the body's circadian rhythms, that determine the flow of energy from the soul body to the physical body. How do we manage that flow? We manage that flow through our breath. When we breathe, we draw in etheric energy. When we breathe in, we draw in etheric energy from the air to fill our lungs and breathe out plasma energy. The rate of breathing determines the coherency between the body and the circadian rhythms in the universe. We can change the rate of flow through our breathing. There are different types of energy breath. There is the long, slow, deep in and out breath. Then there is the long, slow in breath and the sharp out breath, like this. Then there is the pause breath, where we pause in between the in breath and the out breath. When you hold your breath, that's what you're doing. It's called the pause breath. Each breath has a specific purpose. Our bodies vibrate at a certain rhythm, and that vibration comes from our lungs and our heart. When we breathe slowly and deeply, that resets the rhythm in our physical and soul bodies and restores our circadian rhythms to Mother Earth's BPR, which in a sense is her heartbeat. We will do the activation and a realignment in a separate part 8 so that you can use it without having to go through the whole of this part 7. So we'll do it in a separate part. And in there we will use breathing, visualization, setting of the intent, and imagination. And it is advised that this exercise be done reverently and intentionally, because if done properly, it will increase the and correct the flow of energy from the soul body to the physical body, and it's from the Merkaba field to the physical body, re-establish our connection to the universe, sound and light fields, and restore our connection to the circadian rhythms. This is the end of part 7. Thanks for watching, and be sure to do the exercise in part 8, which will follow shortly.